So after playing Turf Wars, I actually prefer now the Heist. Oh my goodness. So guys, let me say something. One thing that I really can't stand is bait and switch technique. I cannot stand that. And that's what I feel Turf Wars is. It's essentially bait and switch. And let me tell you why. So when it came to the trailer, who was the trailer mostly about? Who did it show that it was mostly about? Hammerhead, right? That's who the trailer was. It was narrated by him. Like, this was the guy. When it came to the artwork, who was Spider-Man fighting in the Velocity suit? Hammerhead, right? It was Hammerhead. When it came to the main boss, who was the main boss that we're all looking forward to? Hammerhead. So, riddle me this, Batman. If Hammerhead is the reason for Turf Wars, please explain to me why he is in the game twice. Hammerhead is in the game, I kid you not. He's in the game in the beginning cutscene and at the end of the boss fight. That's it. That big old chunk in the middle, nowhere to be found. If it's not going to be about Hammerhead, then don't act like it's going to be about Hammerhead. That's all I'm saying. This very much was not about Hammerhead. And I have to admit, I don't really like the voice actor who portrayed Hammerhead. I thought he was weak. There was nothing intimidating about his voice at all.
You hit us, we hit back. Made you know your place.
Like, I could not picture him as like a big-time thug mafia boss. Like, it wasn't working for me. And that's a shame, because when it came to Hammerhead and Shattered Dimensions, voice actor was amazing.
Then shut up. Goblin says the spider's coming after the tablet, and he wants all measures taken to stop him getting it.
When it came to Hammerhead, and hell, the original, on the PS1, Hammerhead voice actor is still better than the one we have now.
Better start making sense, lady. Zeus is what?
So I don't know why we're going back when we have all this great talent. We have Yuri, we have all these great voice actors in the game, and the main boss fight, the main boss is weak. His voice actor is weak. That's besides the point, though. How it feels is that Hammerhead is being used as nothing more than a prop as means to give us a greater insight to Yuri. That's all he is. He's a proxy for Yuri's arc, her story arc. And that irritates me, because I was going into this looking forward for their rendition of Hammerhead. Kind of like, you know how they got to the depths of Black Cat, their Black Cat? Even with, I didn't really enjoy the whole baby narrative and all that, but it gave us an insight to Black Cat. It let us know how far she's willing to go in order to get what she wants. And that Spider-Man, because he feels some sort of way about her, that she uses that to her advantage. Like, everything about that DLC, as much as I ragged on it, after playing this, this makes that DLC look like the creme de la creme. It makes it look like Red Dead Redemption Spider-Man version. Because it really showed Black Cat who she was. Even when it came to searching for the artwork and everything, we got a background of Black Cat and her history and with the father and everything. Like, it was really done. It was really well done, I have to say. Now, when it comes to Yuri, I like Yuri. I'm not going to be that guy, I can't stand Yuri, blah, blah. No. I like Yuri. I like Yuri's character. I like Yuri in the original game, and I like her in the DLC. The problem is that they've made me dislike Yuri. That's what they've done with this DLC, because Yuri clearly has superpowers. And I know many of you guys are going, what superpowers? Please explain to me how she goes into the bar with no name and takes out everyone in there. You're going to have one cop go into a bar with no name filled with criminals and thugs and everything and take out everyone there? That's what you want to tell me? She just takes out everyone? I'm sorry. I'm not buying that. Then the real problematic part in this whole DLC, spoiler alert for those of you who haven't finished it, but the problematic part is that she commits cold-blooded murder. That's what she does. And that's completely dismissing, us finding out after the credits roll that Hammerhead is still alive. That's completely dismissing that part, because she doesn't know that. All we know, all Spider-Man knows, at the end of that shot, is that she just killed a man. Not only that, but the first shot she fires is in the back. She shoots a dude from the back and then continues shooting him as officers are watching her, talking about, this is bad. Well, no, Sherlock. Like, what do you mean this is bad? She shooted a man who's surrendered, who doesn't have a weapon, who's clearly does not pose a threat at this moment, and she's continuing to shoot him. Not only that, but then basically does execution style on him, shooting him in the head. What? Now, having said that, I get she becomes Wraith. I understand that. But what she's done is now she's a murderer. She's now an officer who has killed a man in cold blood. That's what she's done. So for her to transition out of that to be some type of hero or anti-hero or however you want to spin it with Wraith, I'm not buying that story. I'm sorry. What I want for this woman right now is for her to be sentenced for the rest of her life. Because here's the thing. Here's what they want us to buy. All of these years that she's been an officer, she's never once seen one of her men die. She's never once come across this type of carnage. She's never once come across that. Come on now. You can't tell me that. That's not the case. I'm not buying that. So at the moment she sees one of her men die or whatever, she has some type of vendetta towards this mob guy, Hammerhead, who, I mean, I like him, but he's very low on, like, the threat level when it comes to super villains and stuff like that. Like, no one's going, oh my God, Hammerhead. No one's doing that, all right? But she's now managed Hammerhead to get the best of her, to where she's now killing people in cold blood, just blah, 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 and kills a man in cold blood. She's completely thrown everything that she's learned from being in the police academy, all of that, all of her years, done, thrown out. I remember in Spider-Man, the main game, how she wanted everything done by the book. She wouldn't even allow Spider-Man in the beginning. She's like, I want all of this done by the book, so he can't use, the law to get finagle his way out of this. All that is just thrown to the wind. Over what? You can't tell me this is the first time, and if this is the first time, well, then she didn't deserve to be an officer to begin with. I get that can have a traumatic effect on you, but to go to the extent that she's thrown everything out the window. She's no longer a good person. I'm curious to see how they salvage this in the final DLC. That's one thing I am curious to find out, because she should go to jail for the rest of her life. She just commit cold-blooded murder. That's what she's done. Lastly, finishing this up, we're going to go into the boss fight. One thing I do like is that it was challenging. Actually, this whole DLC was kind of challenging because I was, had to do certain missions over and over again because I kept getting killed. I don't think that the thug with the jetpack and the shield is really that big of an addition because we've already seen those mechanics with Sable characters in the main game. It was actually way more difficult than the heist. It was. I have to give them that. When it came to the boss fight, way more difficult than anything we've played in the main game or even in the DLCs. Now I don't know if that's because of it being a good gameplay mechanic or if it felt like it was very much one hit and it will take down half your life bar. And I felt like that's kind of a lazy type of game mechanic if they go in that route. Now when it came to the whole exosuit type of thing, I get that this was used in the comics. I understand that Hammerhead has used an exosuit previously before. He's used it, I believe, with Ben Reilly, and he's used it with the original Spider-Man as well. I don't have a problem with that. The only thing it feels like, and this goes back to the game mechanic, in them just putting in a boss and just having him do 3 moves or something like that, is that it feels interchangeable. It feels like you could honestly, this could have been Kingpin for all that we know. There was nothing solely that represented Hammerhead as a boss. Do you get me? Like with Kingpin, it's the same thing. He had a bunch of enemies around him, a bunch of his thugs, and he would charge at you or he'd grab you and stuff like that. It's the same thing here. Instead of, him charging, which he exactly does, he just has his head down because he has, an adamantium skull. There just wasn't that much big of a difference between Kingpin and Hammerhead as a boss. I wish they could have had different mechanics. I get that they had the exosuit, but like I said, if you were to interchange Hammerhead with Kingpin, it would be the same thing. It would just be Kingpin and exosuit charging you. They just got to get better overall with boss fights. And when it came to the main game, I had an issue with that when it came to the boss fights. When it comes to the DLC and Hammerhead, I feel like that issue is still peeking its ugly head up. But overall, it's not enough there to say go out and buy it. I honestly you guys know how I felt about the heist. I was like, what is this baby mama drama, all of this, blah, blah, blah. I still don't like Screwball. I don't know why they keep adding her in. I feel like they just put her in there to pad the game or pad the DLC because no one likes Screwball. When it comes to the suits, the DLC suits, I think this is a great improvement over the original DLC suits that we got. After seeing the armor suit, I like the armor suit. Like I said, I don't think it's an end-all be-all, like I said, but I like the armor suit. I like the original Spider armor suit. Oh my god, that thing is sexy. And then lastly, the manga suit. I think it's trash. I think it's I think it's a trash suit. It is what it is. Some people like it. You know, that's Brian's favorite. You know, that's good for him. I don't have a problem with that. Me personally, I think it's a trash suit. And the vast majority of people who play this game think it's also a trash suit. That's one thing that actually caught me off, was that I was expecting, you know, to have to 100% the game in order to get the Spider armor suit. You know, the original Spider armor. No, you have to 100% the game in order to get the manga suit. I'm like, I'm not 100% in the game for that suit. Like, they miss me with that nonsense. So overall, I mean, this is definitely the worst DLC out of all of them thus far. So I'm hoping the final DLC, this wraps everything up. Hopefully the last DLC, Silver Lining, like they come correct with the DLC costumes, they come correct with the story, they come correct with the gameplay, and they leave Screwball out. Please leave Screwball out, and they give us something that's like, okay, that was okay. It had a rough start, but how they finished it, I'll be fine with that. I'll be content with that. Anyways, guys, that's the video. Let me know what you guys think. Whether or not you believe, hey, Lucas, I like Turf Wars. You're just a Raimi fanboy, all right? That's why you didn't like it. Or if you happen to believe, I mean, this definitely wasn't the best out of the two. But hopefully Silver Lining is going to be better. Either or, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe. All that fun stuff. Till next time, guys, be amazing. What?